Hello, Opening Pathways viewers. It's Tom LeNoble. It's good to have you with me again. I have a great guest today. I have a Robert Acosta, who is a life coach. And Robert, I'm really excited to have you with you today because you're not just a life coach, you're an impact life coach. So please say hello to the viewers and tell them who you are and what you focus on. And what I'd really like to know as well is what sparked the idea for you to start your business?
Yeah, yeah. Hello, Tom. Nice being here. Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Acosta, and yes, I'm an impact life coach because I like to impact lives, and I want people to impact other lives. So my story is a little bit long, but because I'm turning 60 next year, so it's been quite a while. So we can talk about my two lives that I've been living. But essentially, I studied actuarial sciences, so I love math, I love science. So, but at the same time, since I was a young kid, well, I would say in my teens, I loved human behavior. I was very curious about why we behave the way we behave, why we do the things we do, because sometimes it's almost irrational what we how we behave. So I combine both, let's say, love both things: the love of maths, the love of science, and the love of human behavior. And I ended up, well, in companies that want me to work in innovation and innovative things by studying how people are going to react to that innovation. So that's why I ended up like being a market researcher and really helping people make millions of dollars decisions. So I would say that I spent almost 30 years of my life doing that. And that's why I became very good at helping people make decisions until I decided, well, I want to do this not only for the same bunch of people in a corporation. I can do this for any kind of person in any stage of life, in any part of the world, in any industry. And that's why I started my own
Yes.
practice of a life coach.
Yeah, I love this, Robert, about human behavior. I love it too. We have that in common. And I often said I would love to get a job where I'm working in the airport watching people. If I could find something that would pay me enough, it sounds like a great thing to do because I just love to watch what people are up to and how they're behaving. Really, really interesting to me. So tell me this. I'm interested to know a little bit of the backstory. We get into the places we are and we grow and we become who we're going to be. But there was somebody that had an influence early on, some role model or something like that. Who was yours?
Well, actually, my role model was someone hidden inside of me. So I was living I would say, let me say it this way, I was living the perfect life, a life by the book. I studied my career. I landed a good job very quickly. I started to progress in companies, so I have all the titles. I had the money. Then I get married and have a kid. So all by the book. So, but internally, I was I was not satisfied. It was something, a quiet voice inside of me saying, "Is that it? Is that all?" So there's something inside of me telling me there's more, you can do more. And that was one of the reasons I started to look for different things. And since I was working in international companies, I had the opportunity to travel and to figure it out that not only Mexico, where the place that I was born, it was the only country. So I could live anywhere. So that's why after my son was born, we decided to move to Canada to experience another kind of life. But ironically, I thought that would be the change. But guess what? I brought all my baggage, all myself, exactly the same who I was, into a different country. So that was not the change. So the voice was still there because I was working in corporations and having exactly the same results. So as I say, I was like living I was in my 40s, but I was living the same year 40 times. So I wasn't that until, well, I decided to impact. I decided to not to be successful just for me or by myself, but being successful, helping others being successful. And there is when I started to find that solution of not only being more helpful, but fulfill my life with more than the regular things that we are told to want. And that's why I started to transform really
Yes.
life, not only changing places or changing the countries, by changing the way I was behaving.
I see. So tell us this. On this journey to be an impact life coach, did you ever doubt your vision?
Well, to be honest, it's just a title. It's just a means to something bigger. So yes, I decided to do this like a means to do something more or to accomplish something bigger, to accomplish what I call my purpose. So it's not that I found that I needed to be or that I wanted to be a coach. As people, I say myself, I don't want even to be a speaker or I don't even want to be in a podcast, but I have to if I want to convey my message to the purpose of transforming other lives into a better way of life, not only for me, not only for my acquaintances or my closer friends, but let me tell you this way, the whole humanity. So that's my purpose, big enough. So whatever I have to do in between, like being a coach or a speaker or writing books, even though some of the things I could like or maybe others I don't, I have to do it and I do it anyways because the purpose is bigger than the things that I have to do in between.
Tell us about a big challenge you had on this journey and how you faced it and what did it teach you?
Well, I would say that one of my biggest challenge was to really quit my corporate life. So mentally, I knew that I could impact more if I do this by myself, by my own, and then try to connect with people around the globe. But I had no clue of how I would do it. But I needed to detach myself to my former life, from my former life, in order to find that out. So I know there are people that say, well, if you're in a company or you're an employee and you want to have your own business, do it in parallel. And sometimes don't quit your job, just do it in parallel. That that wasn't working for me. So I cannot think two things at the same time. So I decided to quit, and then I was like without that safe lifeline, which was my job for 30 years. So that was tough, but I was guided by very good coaches. So right now I have coaches helping me because you cannot do something of significance in this world alone. You can't. Nobody is perfect and good in everything.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you need coaches to guide you. So fortunately, I had those, and I
Yeah,
still have those coaches to
Robert,
guide
I
me.
get asked the question by clients sometimes, does a coach have a coach? And my answer is, does a dentist fill their own teeth? Of course we have a
Yeah.
coach. If you don't have a coach that doesn't have a coach or two, they're probably not the right coach for you because that's
Right.
part of, as you know, part of our process in being coaches.
That's
Um, I'm interested to know if you look back on this journey, go back to day one, would you change anything or would you do it all the same way?
Well, there are many things that just happened to me, but what was in control is in the decisions, what happened after. As I always say, you're not responsible of what happened to you, but what happens after. So what decisions you make. So I would say that now I've learned that whatever comes to me, I have the ability to make, I'm not going to say the right decision, but to make decisions fast and get responsibility for any decisions. So answering your question, I would say yes and no. Yes, I would put myself in the same circumstances and be free to make decisions, my own decisions, to really have the 100% responsibility of the outcomes. So that way, that's the way I live now. That's the way I would live in the past. Like, I don't blame anyone about what happened to me, because it's 100% my responsibility. And when I find that out, when I understood that, whew, it was like a
Yeah.
liberation. I felt free for this first time, and that's the way I live now. Everything is 100% my responsibility.
Yes, yes. And there are no do-overs.
No,
Um, Tell me, no, they're not. Some people live in that do-over land, like something's going to change that already happened, and it's just not going to happen. So tell me this. I know I want to hear it. I'm sure the viewers do as well. What did those early days teach you about trust?
You mean when I was living in Mexico and with my first
Well, when you started your business, let's start there. As you were developing this current business, what did you learn about trust?
well, I know that before trust, there is a glimpse of authenticity that I catch in people. I became very good at that through life, through the years, right? To really talk to someone and I can identify, am I talking to the true self of that person, or I am talking to their paradigms, to their story, to a story he or she were told. So that way, I can identify when I know those people are talking to me in a way that they are open-hearted. Then trust, it's a byproduct of the conversation. It's not something that I need to seek. It's
I love
something that I feel immediately when I'm talking with a person that is authentic when they speak.
I love this. Authenticity is so important, and I agree with you. I never thought about that being the precursor to trust, but yes, it is. Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that. When the stakes are high, how does Robert make decisions?
Well, there's very difficult for me to be angry. There's very difficult for you to make me feel angry. Maybe because I have this precondition that everything is my responsibility. But the only way to come or to go over any challenge, again, it's the same formula. Make decisions fast. Well, I'm using not only your rational mind or what is logic. Sometimes I even prefer not to use that. And let me tell you, I'm a scientist. I was born in a scientific environment. So that was a transformation of not thinking rationally these days and to follow my intuition. That sense that I don't know why, but I feel this is the right answer, or this is the right decision, or this is the decision that I'm going to make today, even though it looks even illogical to me or and to everyone. So I'm becoming more better, let's say, or I'm becoming better to make decisions that way. So the first idea that I have, that's your intuition. When you are in a challenge, and the first thing that comes to you, follow that first voice, because immediately there's going to be a second voice, and that voice is your paradigm saying, "Oh, no, 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 no! If you do that,
Yes,
this, and it could happen." So that's what I teach, and that's what I teach my
I
clients to
love this.
to practice that. Hear that first voice and go with that, even though it sounds illogical. Even better if it sounds scary.
Yes, I agree
That's
with
the
you.
right decision.
I agree, Robert. And it's a great segue to my next question for you. How do you know when to pivot or push through?
Well, yeah, again, it's something, it has to be with that intuition. So one of the ways that you can solve that, and many other things as well, again, is when you have a purpose. When you have something that you want to accomplish, or something that you go after, even though you won't be able to accomplish even in this life, that's the kind of purpose that I suggest people to have, bigger than yourself. So when you have that, it's very easy to make a decision because you filter every situation through your purpose. And you say, is this decision or what is happening to me and the decision I think I'm going to make goes in line or aligns with my purpose? If the answer is yes, go for it. If the answer is no, just reject it. So that's that way. And it's the other way I help people with. You are going to be making decisions very fast. It's very easy when you are anchored or when your life is anchored to a purpose bigger than yourself, to a big goal. My fastest definition of a purpose is an infinite goal. When you have a goal that is infinite, that never ends.
Great. Tell me, what are Robert's personal values that you live by?
Well, I would say that I have three main values. The first one is freedom. I adore, and I think that's one of the principles that humanity has to live with. Freedom. Then the second one is respect. So whatever decisions you make or other people make, you just respect it, don't judge it. And I say the third one is service, which is more than what you're thinking, because it's even for me, it's an acronym of having mental serenity, having a physical vitality, and financial certainty. If you put the first two words of serenity, vitality, and certainty, that's service. But also is the meaning of be of service to others. So those are my three, let's say, principles, the three principles that I live by: respect, freedom, and service.
Yeah, service is very important to me. I know that. Tell me this. What impact are you most proud of, not professionally, but personally? What impact?
Well, actually, the impact that I do, or that I make every day when I speak with people, and even when I post, and even though I'm new in that social media environment, but I know that when you put yourself out there with your ideas, with your philosophy, with the way you live, and it works, and you put your life in service, I know that it's impacting someone. So I feel fulfilled when I'm talking to people and I see that glimpse of that in their eyes that say, "Oh, now I understand a little thing more about me or about this situation." So having that impact, even the tiny one, I know it's going to have a ripple effect of transformation, even with people that maybe I will never see them again, but just being in touch with them, I know something's going to change if I'm authentically talking and listening to that person, and then giving them some, I don't want to say advice, but giving some examples that how they can help themselves making decisions in this case.
Yeah. Robert, I'm curious, have you ever said no to growth or an opportunity because it wasn't aligned?
Oh, definitely.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. For example, right now that I'm have my own practice, I have been, I would say, bombarded by opportunities of going back to the corporate life and being safer. And I know it's going to be safer, quote unquote safer, because I have 30 years of experience. I know I can go back to corporations and be successful and have an impact even there. But the kind of impact that I want to make is bigger than that. I'm more ambitious than that. So I have said no to very good ideas, very good projects, but that they're gonna maybe put me in a box, or they're gonna limit me in terms of what I'm doing now towards my purpose. So yeah, even though it would be safer and more comfortable to have said yes to that thing, I say no. And now it's easier and easier. At the beginning, it was, oh, why I did say no if I'm just beginning and I don't know if I'm going to be successful. But internally, I knew this was my path. I didn't want to live another 30 years in a corporation having a good life, but not the big life that I chose to live a few years ago. So, yeah,
Yes.
of course, I have said no to many things, many good ideas, not because they are wrong or but they are not, as you said, when they are not in alignment of what I want or what the purpose that I'm pursuing, it's easy. I say no, even though it's a good opportunity.
Yeah. How does Robert stay grounded and aligned and cope with sometimes the day-to-day grind or conflicts that we get when we're running businesses? How do you cope with that?
Well, I would say again, first, because I have a purpose, a big one that helps me get up every day and say, "Wow, today is Monday. I'm gonna work on my purpose." Even though I'm gonna do a tiny thing, I know that's gonna be this compound effect that will leave open, that it's gonna eventually this is gonna happen. So having that anchor in my life, it's vital. And then these other three things that I just mentioned have a mental serenity, which I have when I have that purpose and I know that end of that goal, that infinite goal, it's already here. It's going to happen, even though I don't see it right now. So having that certainty of my goal gives me peace or serenity in my mind. The second thing that I do is I'm physically vital. So I'm an athlete, I'm a swimmer. So physically, doing things physically, I would say, it's a connection with the mind, or a
Totally
direct
right.
connection with the mind. So I keep moving, I keep getting good food and sleep. Sleep is one of my superpowers. As I always say, I sleep very well. And of course, the third thing is having this financial certainty, which I have with what I built, and which I have with what I'm working on. So I don't have any doubt that abundance is going to keep going as I helping other people to live that abundance. It's something that it's a byproduct, a logic byproduct that I'm going to get.
Yeah, some wise words there today. Tell me this, what's your boldest vision for your business over the next 5 years?
Um, I would say the idea of having a group or even a community of leaders working together, which is like saying, oh, I'm going to have a flock of eagles flying together, which is illogical because they fly alone. And a leader, mostly by definition, is someone who is alone. He starts alone. And even though they have followers, their vision, most of their path is alone. So my bold vision is to have several leaders working together. And I'm not saying towards the same purpose. Everyone can have their own purpose, but really collaborating into a bigger, or at least what I say, my goal to one humanity, to work something towards having one humanity, even though every leader has their own strategy, but working together as a leader. So I don't want like employees working together. No, I want leaders working together. I don't know if it's bold enough, but it's for now. It sounds illogical because
Yeah.
like an eagle, the eagle flies alone. But no, I want a flock of eagles
Got
flying.
it. Got it. A flock of eagles. What a beautiful concept. Tell me this, what are you most hopeful about for the world today?
Oh, my hopeful is that we can live as one humanity, where I'm not saying that we are all the same. I live in Canada, and the decision to live here is because here, and particularly here in Toronto, is what they say, it's the whole world in one city. And that's true. You find people from all over the world in one city. So you can taste and celebrate every single festivity for all over the world in one city. So that's what I love. I love diversity. So when I say one humanity, I'm not saying one culture, one tradition, one language, one religion, one everything. No, it's a collaborative way of living with our differences, celebrating that. Oh, great that you're different because I have a different perspective that we can grow better or faster. We can progress when we have different perspectives. That's exactly what I live here. That's exactly what I experience here, and that's why this is I would say,
Yeah.
I'm a Canadian, but when someone asks me, where are you from? I'll say, well, I'm a human. I'm from planet Earth. So
Yes.
that's my hope, that everyone can answer the question of where are you from and say from planet Earth. And this is my home. Where is your home? Planet Earth.
Great. I have one final question for you today. If your younger self were watching this podcast, what would you tell him?
My younger self. Okay. I would say do it faster. Move faster than I did. So don't be afraid to make decisions, because even though now I make decisions fast, I wouldn't say that when my younger self was making a lot of decisions. Maybe because, well, mostly because that younger self was very rational. So I would say to that younger self, follow your intuition a little bit more or much more than your rational thinking, that your logic, and make decision faster than you did.
Yes. Thank you so much, Robert Acosta, for being on Opening Pathways today. Please tell the viewers where they can find you.
Well, they can find you. My best source is LinkedIn, which you can find me as Robert G. Acosta, and I have several resources. You can even send me a message, a direct message saying big life, which is one of the things that I'm proposing right now is the way I teach people to live a big life. So you can find me there, LinkedIn at Robert G. Acosta. And if you want to connect with me, just send me a direct message saying big life or say hello. And that would be
Perfect. Robert, thank you for being on Opening Pathways today.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And to my viewers, this is Tom LeNoble. I'll see you next time.